Once upon a time, all embryo transfers in all clinics all over the world were fresh transfers. What does that mean? Which means during the IVF cycle, we would superovulate the patient, we would grow the eggs, we would make the embryos, and we would transfer those same embryos in that cycle itself. And we had pregnancy rates. But the problem with this is that often the endometrial receptivity wasn't great, which means even though you had a good quality embryo, it did not implant. Let's stop and try to think about why this happened. Because when we're doing a fresh IVF cycle, our focus is on superovulation, which means we give the woman lots of hormonal injections to help her to grow lots of eggs. This often means that estrogen levels are high, but the impact of this means that the endometrial receptivity is no longer optimal. Because in a natural cycle in the bedroom, patients grow only one follicle, which means the estrogen level is about 200 to 300. So the endometrium is primed to accept that single embryo, which grows from one single follicle. But when we superovulate, the equation changes completely. Our focus is on many follicles, therefore you have much higher estrogen levels, as a result of which endometrial receptivity is no longer optimal. And this is why we try to break an IVF cycle down into two legs. In the first leg, we grow lots of eggs, get lots of embryos, and freeze them. We don't transfer them. And the beauty is that with vitrification, our thaw rates are now 100%. All our embryos will survive if it's a good clinic. And then we can, in the second leg, optimize endometrial receptivity because we don't need to grow eggs in that cycle anymore. We can just give estrogen, get the endometrium to be ready, and then thaw a frozen embryo and transfer this. And using this stepped care approach with two legs, the pregnancy rates are much better.